It's the Raw Meat Podcast, the most mediocre wrestling podcast on the internet. With the smart Greg Adams, the nature boy Jay Whatley, and the hardcore icon Puff.
It is the Raw Meat Podcast. Greg Adams sitting in with Puff. Jay Whatley is in the building. He is here. I did see Jay Whatley, and he dropped off his predictions because this is our official Extreme Rules prediction podcast. I left my belt in the office. Why did I do that?
Damn your feet, because you're dumb.
Probably. I currently hold the belt, undisputed champion, but...
I should get the belt just for predicting the firings and for predicting the Ambrose Asylum match. But
I will tell you the same thing I told Jay Whatley. Unsanctioned matches, those do not count towards the title picture. But today's predictions will count towards the title picture. And at the end of Sunday night, there could be a new champion.
there will be
Or
a new champion.
I may retain that beautiful giant belt, and I will post a picture of it every day on the internet for you guys to see me with the belt. I'll take it around. I'll do different things. We'll have coffee.
It'll never happen.
We'll go to the beach. We'll take pictures.
I'm on vacation next week, so
that's
I'm
right.
gonna take that belt with me everywhere. It will be at Raw
That would
in
be
New Orleans.
Oh yeah, because you will
leading in the Money in the Bank.
I forgot about that. You are on your way to Raw, which will be between this weekend and Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do win Sunday night, you will have possession of the belt while you head to
You
Monday
will
Night
see
Raw.
it right above Michael Cole's head because that's where my seats are located.
You'll have to create a sign that says, I won this on my podcast, and tape the belt to it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We have a full slate of matches, and I'm sure we will want to discuss each one of these in depth as we make our picks. And I do, like I said, I have Jay Whatley's predictions here. So even though he's not here to justify his picks, they will go down in the record, and he may be, between the three of us, the silent one may actually win the belt.
There's nothing silent about Jay.
The only thing that's silent about him is his performance on this podcast.
Well, you can hear him echoing through the halls. That's got to count for something.
If he wins, he will be.
If he wins, we're not telling him. Is what's good.
Oh, he'll know. We publish this online.
He
He's going
doesn't
to watch
even
it.
watch the pay-per-view.
He'll watch it. He'll know the results, and then we'll have to give him the belt whether he knows or not. But he is essentially becoming our Raw general manager. He's not actually.
He's our hornswoggle.
He's not seen. He's just hiding under the ring, giving us his predictions. I have his predictions. I have not looked at them yet, but we will go ahead and get into this right away. The Extreme Rules pre-show match currently has a one match slated: Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler, no DQ match. Do you want to flip a coin to see if you go first, or do you just want to take it and I'll take last at bat?
How about you do Jay since he's
Oh
not
yeah, we
here.
can go ahead and do that. All right. Well, then we're still gonna have to figure it out between us. We'll go Jay, then me, then you.
Works. Perfect.
And I don't know if it's really going to matter on this one because Jay has chosen Baron Corbin. Mm-hmm. I have chosen Baron Corbin.
And I have chosen Baron Corbin.
So this one is pretty much a Baron Corbin across-the-board win. This would probably be like some kind of squash match.
Ziggler putting someone else over.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much Ziggler's spot in the company at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Dolph, but in all honesty,
He's like the Shawn Michaels that doesn't care if he loses.
He is so... I don't want to say... He's made, pretty much. He is what he is. He's going to have a Legends contract. Dolph Ziggler at this point, probably, down the road, Hall of Famer.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if the Godfather just got in, Dolph is a world champion.
Fair enough.
So I do think that down the road, he's had a long career. He's got things going on outside of WWE. He's cashing a paycheck. I think he is happy to take somebody like Baron Corbin. By the way, kudos to Dolph Ziggler because Baron Corbin is miles ahead now of where he was when he first showed up.
It's the old CM Punk thing, man. You face someone that's better than you, and you get better.
As long as they tell you this is what you do you need to do this to me right now. All of these people in this arena know exactly who I am. I don't need any of this right now, but what you need to do is destroy my face on this steel step. Hit me harder. It's what was caught on camera between Hunter, like we're on a first name basis, Triple H, first name, fake name basis, between Triple H and Roman Reigns last year at the end of TLC where he's telling him, hit me again, hit me harder, hit me with the chair. Those are all the things that needed to be done to make Roman better. He just couldn't keep that momentum up.
You know, and speaking of Roman, not to get off track here, I forgot how good his match was a couple of years ago at Extreme Rules against Big Show.
Yeah, I know. You were rediscovering Extreme Rules pay-per-views over the last 24 hours. That one, and John Cena. Mm-hmm. I don't think people give John Cena as much credit as they probably should for his performance in Extreme Rules matches, no DQ matches. I mean, the guy...
He's not afraid to bleed, first thing.
And he's a great performer.
Yep.
I hate myself that I'm coming around to John Cena.
I will always hate his character, but him as an in-ring performer and professional, top-notch dude.
Okay, the last 5 years of his character, yeah, hate it. But at this point, the way that he is almost breaking the fourth wall and he's being a character on top of a character, he is conducting the John Cena sucks chants when he comes out. God, I'm 6 months away from convincing myself to wear a John Cena shirt.
You ever do? Well, you got a coffee mug.
I do have a John Cena coffee mug, although this is actually just a WWE coffee mug, but apparently the only ones that make for Father's Day are John Cena coffee mugs.
Fruity Pebbles in your glass.
Actually, Fruity Pebbles are delicious, and I would totally take a bowl of Fruity Pebbles right now. We're getting so far off track that this is... All right, anyway, moving on. The next match that we have on our list here is Kalisto versus Rusev for the U.S. Championship. Now, I don't know if these matches are going to be in order of...
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Jay's pick is it's actually Rusev. That's shocking to me.
Yeah, no kidding. That's like Captain Kalisto.
I have Rusev as well.
You know who I have? Rusev Crush.
All right, so that's not going in the right direction if anyone's going to beat me, considering that.
I think after this next match, things are going to get a little shuffled.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Basically, the idea that I have behind Rusev taking the belt off Kalisto is for Rusev to hold it for 24 hours, only to have John Cena show up on Monday night and take the belt off him.
You know, I think John might be going for a bigger prize.
I swear to God, I will set the building on fire. I will not allow that to happen. Ric Flair will continue to be the 16-time.
Just because he inserts himself into the title picture doesn't mean he wins the title. Because also returning in the next 2 to 3 weeks is a certain former heavyweight champion we all know and love named Seth freaking Rollins.
Who, by the way, not former champ because he never lost that belt.
Well, he got strippies. He got injured.
He never lost that belt. He is still the WWE champion. That's going to be the angle, I swear, when they come back. That has to be the angle.
I hope not. Just because that would mean Roman's still the champion, and I don't want that.
Oh, it doesn't matter who's the champion. He comes back and he just says, I didn't lose that belt. Whoever has it, it's mine. And then could you imagine him coming back, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins going into SummerSlam?
What have I been saying the whole time? They're going to main event the big pay-per-views this year.
I love that idea. We're taking these side roads off from prediction picks to get down to SummerSlam predictions at this point. We really need to focus here. Otherwise, this is going to be another hour-and-a-half podcast.
Yeah, who cares?
So the next match is the Asylum match. You do not get extra credit for predicting that this match would actually happen ahead of time. I know you're devastated. Looking at Jay's picks, he has selected Dean Ambrose as the victor in the Asylum match. Why don't you go ahead and give your pick?
I got Ambrose.
I also have Ambrose. So this is really, really bad right now. This is such an uninteresting podcast.
I think this is where things are going to get interesting.
Oh, it's definitely getting interesting. There are 2 opportunities for somebody to steal the show, barring a surprise appearance from somebody, which, hey, John Cena being advertised for being on Raw doesn't mean that he is not allowed to be at Extreme Rules.
Well, that's what I've been saying. Everybody's, John Cena's not coming back till Monday. He's making his return to Raw on Monday. Nothing says he won't be at Extreme Rules on Sunday.
Remember, he already made an appearance at WrestleMania, so it's not like this is his complete return.
True
He's already been back. And who knows? Maybe this is the match that John Cena pokes his head in.
It's possible. Anything's possible, though. That's the great thing about WWE writing at the moment.
That is why we are, as much as I complain about it, we're actually in one of the best spots for pro wrestling in a very, very long time.
Probably since CM Punk left in the first time in 2014.
I took such a long time off, like most people, where a lot of the Attitude Era folks disappeared from the product for a long time and have recently come back. And it's things like the Bullet Club. It's things like characters like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles coming to the product and keeping their personas and their characters and their names, something that would have never happened before.
Nope.
It's now all coming. It's such an unpredictable, interesting time that a lot of the Attitude Era folks are able to swallow their pride on the lack of blood and the lack of TNA, not the company. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, lack of TNA too, but
lack of puppies.
Puppies!
We're able to swallow our pride now and admit that having guys who have been stars on the indies coming in and basically doing indie matches at the WWE level now is such an interesting concept. And when you have guys like Jericho who have been there for a long time, who tie the Attitude Era together with this is the new era, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're calling it. The hat era. The new era, having guys like Jericho to tie the two together is awesome. And a match like this, too. This is very Attitude Era-esque.
Yeah, although I think this is going to be the last time we see Chris Jericho in a WWE ring.
I'm not ready to make that prediction. You know what? We won't be able to. We'll retroactively give you bonus points if that's right, but we're not going to know the answer to that until down the road. So if there's like some tie and we need a tiebreaker, we'll go ahead and use that, but we'll apply it 3 months down the road.
I just got a feeling that his contract is up and he's gone because everybody was talking about Nakamura, Jericho, Japan. Guess what ain't on the bill?
Yeah. Well, not yet. Again, unpredictability.
Nakamura and Bray Wyatt.
It doesn't get more unpredictable than the New Day. They are next on our list for predictions. New Day versus Vaudevillains Tag Team Championship match. This may be our first disagreement overall. I haven't seen your picks yet, but I will give you Jay's pick. He is taking the New Day to retain against the Vaudevillains. Mm-hmm. I am taking the New Day to retain against the Vaudevillains, and you are taking
New Day.
Oh, really? Man, I thought that was going to be it. I know that you have talked about your theories on the New Day looking for maybe time off.
Yeah, but I think I would have picked Vaudevillains to win if I thought Enzo wasn't going to be back, possibly on Sunday. But from all reports, he's cleared. He's ready. They're just saving him for a quote-unquote moment. So if he's good to go, that's going to be our new tag team champs when it gets to it. Whether it happens at Battleground or Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, sometime in the next 3 months, Enzo and Cass will be our new champions.
The hesitation that I have for the New Day retaining is, you know what?
It's not too late to pick. We haven't moved on yet. You can change.
I know, and I'm strongly considering it. But I think I'm going to stick with the New Day, even though one of my hesitation is that the New Day may be actually bigger than the titles right now.
Well, of course they are, which is why they're going to put over Enzo and Cass. But you got to wait for Enzo to get back.
Yeah, well, do you? Because if New Day is big enough to exist without the belts around their waist, Vaudevillains take the titles to have Enzo and Cass take them off the Vaudevillains. Because right now, the Vaudevillains are actually getting some serious heat, some legit heat.
They are good. They're good at being bad. And they've definitely grown a lot in the past, 2 months?
And the only way to throw some more heat on them would be to have them beat the most over tag team in the last decade. And if they did that at Extreme Rules, it would set them up. And you know what? Maybe you write it off as...
You know what? You've talked me into it. We haven't moved on. I'm changing my pick. I'm going Vaudevillains.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Lock it down.
You want to buy a car, too?
No. But I told you I was on the fence to begin with.
You got a pen over there? Circle that up.
So
there's our first descent comes all the way down in the tag team match. We made it through 3 matches. We finally get a descent. And I'm close too. I would not be surprised if it happens.
Because you know what? After the injury to Enzo, what's a better storyline than those two battling over the tag titles? You killed my partner. And then Enzo's music hits on Monday. All of a sudden, it's going to be awesome.
The story would be great.
Yeah.
Which is why I hesitate that it would happen. It's the same thing I told you when it came to the Asylum match. You brought this great idea. In the middle of the afternoon, we had seen nothing about what they were planning for Raw. And in the middle of the afternoon, you shoot off a text that says, hey, Asylum match involving Straight Jackets, Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho. It'll be great. And I said, yeah, it would be, but they're not going to do it because it's too smart for the creative team.
Yet they did.
it. So.
I'm trusting my gut instinct, and I'm putting my faith in the creative team to do right.
They have tied Enzo and Cass and New Day together so much. They've put them together as a four-man tag last night on SmackDown with Big Cass and New Day. I don't see how you have an adequate New Day versus Enzo and Cass for a tag title. It's a two buddy.
Well, you got to take a little break there. So,
well, if you're going to have Enzo and Cass go for the belts, it's got to be to take them off the Vaudevillains.
I'm down. You got me. I changed my pick. Vaudevillains all the way. Do it old school style.
All right, moving on to the Women's Championship match. We have Charlotte versus Natalya in a submission match where Ric Flair is barred from ringside, and the stipulation says that if he does show up at ringside...
You see my tears?
Charlotte loses, and Natalya she doesn't have the champion's advantage. Charlotte does not. If Ric Flair disqualifies Charlotte from this match, Natalya gets the belt, which I think is the out that Jay is looking at because he has chosen Natalya to beat Charlotte for the Women's Championship. Who do you have?
I have Charlotte, the win.
I also have Charlotte.
Because I think Charlotte versus Sasha Banks going into SummerSlam is a lot more sexy than Natalya versus Sasha Banks.
Yes, sir, and that has crossed my mind a couple of times. I don't know what the timetable on Sasha Banks is right now.
Well, according to all reports, the reason she hasn't been on TV is they're holding her for, quote-unquote, a big long-term storyline.
Okay, great. This could be it. Now, I do have reservations, much like I did in the tag team matchup, because you could see somebody like Natalya. Natalya has been, like what Jericho is, tying the Attitude Era to the new era. She is one of the few that ties the height of the Divas era to the women's wrestling revolution.
Hey, if you remember the last pay-per-view, I picked Natty to win.
And part of me wants to see her get the belt, even if it's for a day, and Charlotte wins it back with the help of Ric Flair on Monday Night Raw, just so she can be one of the... She's not going to have a lot of opportunities to hold the Women's Championship belt. She has held the Divas title, but this could be her last hurrah to get the new Women's Championship belt.
And as much as I would like her to win just to make up for the whole Bret Hart thing, because I still am pissed about that, I just don't see it happening.
I don't either, but I do have reservations. I could see it go the other way, but I'm sticking with my Charlotte pick.
If that's a pick I get wrong, I'll be happy that I got it wrong. I'll leave it at that.
Now, this one could send us in various different directions.
Well, there's only 3 of us. Technically, we could have a no contest.
Technically, yeah, we could all get this wrong, and I don't know if any of us are going to pick the same guy even. But we have a 4-way Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens. Would you like me to read Jay's pick first?
I want to go first on this one.
All right, fire away.
Because in my brain, there's 3 matches on this card. I was really, 4 if you count the Vaudevillains, because I was kind of torn on that. But this one, I was thinking Cesaro finally gets the IC belt, and this is going to be his big moment, his coming out party. But then I got to thinking, right around the corner, SummerSlam. What's a better feud than Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens? Now in my head, I had to pick which one of those would get strapped up. And I'm going with the underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn.
And your pick may set up a scenario where none of us get this right, because looking at Jay's picks, he has chosen El Generico, Sami Zayn, as his winner in that 4-way match.
I can't believe he picked Zayn. That's shocking.
Meaning that I am the only one of us that has chosen somebody different out of 4 people. And I have not selected Kevin Owens.
Whoa.
I have not chosen Kevin Owens nor Sami Zayn, and I will tell you why. Because both of those two can carry a story into SummerSlam void of a title.
True, but it's so much better with a belt.
It would be better with a belt, but you don't need a belt to have these guys have a ladder's grudge match at SummerSlam that could steal the show.
That is true.
Those two can carry a story minus the belt. So, who out of these four requires the belt to make them the best character they can be?
You're going with The Miz, aren't you?
The Miz is the only correct answer in this scenario because he is right now the best pure heel in the company since the Authority is no longer there. Seth Rollins is going to come back as such a baby face.
You think?
Oh, yes. There's no way. That first pop when Seth Rollins shows up, it doesn't matter what he says.
Yeah, that's true.
The rebuilt Seth Rollins is going to be such a baby face, especially if you put him in a ring with Roman Reigns right now. So you've got no good heels. You've got good heels. You have no great heels. But The Miz is everything that everyone else hates. You have a ring full of the best of Ring of Honor. You have 3 Ring of Honor Hall of Famers. You have internet sensations. And what does the internet hate more than John Cena when it comes to the WWE's active roster? It's The Miz.
Can't argue with any of those points.
So you have The Miz that you've given now his wife, the hot French chick back on screen under his arm. He's got the belt over the other shoulder, and he has the ability to go toe-to-toe with Kevin Owens on a mic. This guy is everything that people don't want him to be. And if you tack the belt on top of that...
It's, you make very valid points. Don't die. But I'm still going with Sami Zayn. I feel comfortable in that. It's going to be his big shining moment. Kevin Owens has already been champ. The only person I feel bad for in this scenario is Cesaro, but he'll figure something out.
I feel like somebody's got a voodoo doll and just a pin just went through my throat. Wow.
That's what you get for picking The Miz.
It's sort of what I feel like. There's that little girl who had that hateful Miz face that gets shown all the time. She hates me so hard right now. But picking The Miz to retain right now it's not a slight against Cesaro either, because it could be the best thing for Cesaro right now too in the long run.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Like I said, I think the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens feud with a title involved makes a great story, just top notch, like 5 stars going into SummerSlam. And then you can put, the dream match that I think all of us want to see, Brock Lesnar versus Cesaro.
Do people really want to see that?
Yes.
Like, I'm not excited by that. That doesn't excite me, honestly.
See, I think that would be fun.
I think Cesaro's best matchups are people like The Miz, which is why I think this could be a great setup where you have, let's say Cesaro drops Kevin Owens. He does something to him and just like knocks Kevin Owens completely out. And then you have, I have that backwards. Kevin Owens knocks out Cesaro. Like Kevin Owens hits him with, is this no DQ? I mean, it's Extreme Rules.
All 4-way matches are no DQ.
So you could have Cesaro, if chairs and foreign objects are going to be legal, get completely just obliterated. And he's like unconscious in the corner of the ring. And then you have Kevin Owens getting ready to pin him. Zayn comes in and they start the Peter Griffin chicken fight, and they're on the outside fighting and not paying attention, and The Miz crawls over, covers Cesaro for the win to retain. Then you have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting over each other, saying, you just cost me this match. I had Cesaro down ready to pin, and you screwed me over again. That's it. I'm done with you. We're going to end this once and for all. And then you have Cesaro saying, like, hey, wait a second. I would have won this if not for the chair shot. I need to have another shot. I should still be the number 1 contender for the IC belt. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get out of this and to make it good for all 4.
I think it's going to be good for everybody, no matter what happens.
But I think the best for everyone is if Miz retains.
We'll see.
This one's thrown in there, and this seems like a last minute. I feel bad for this match. It's the Usos versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, or the Club, in a Texas Tornado tag team match.
I think something is going to happen in this match that's going to set up for the main event.
Now,
I just don't know what.
Now, if you're fantasy booking Extreme Rules, because again, we don't know if this is the order that this whole thing is going to go down.
I think this match is probably right after Corbin Ziggler.
You think this is the first match of the actual pay-per-view?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You bookend it, something happens in there, you're like, ooh, how's that going to affect the main event? Blah, blah, whether it's an injury, quote unquote, or someone shows up to interfere, or whatever happens. Well, I think it happens early and builds throughout the night, maybe a few backstage vignettes, and then something's going to pop off in the main event. Now, with that said, I think this match is totally linked to the main event. So that's where I'm torn on the outcomes here.
Okay, do you want me to give you Jay's outcome?
Sure.
I was kind of shocked by it. He has the Usos beating Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
So do I.
Really? I've got the Club beating the Bloodline.
And here's why. I think whichever one wins, the other loses. So if the Good Brothers go over on the Usos, AJ's got no shot in hell of winning the main event. Now, I think the Good Brothers are going to tear up the Usos. Maybe Jay gets hurt. But somehow, miraculously, since it's a Texas Tornado tag match, the Usos squeak away with a win. They're all celebrating and happy. Then something backstage happens. Gallows and Anderson are just pissed that they lost. They run into him, destroy him, and it's going to be Roman on his own. And then he's going to super Roman up. And then I'll tell you my prediction in the end.
That actually, one of the things that I didn't consider when this match came. Now, okay, another question though. They did the championship match is an Extreme Rules no DQ match, right?
Yep.
So, if both of these tag teams are able-bodied at the end of this Texas Tornado tag match, feasibly all four of these individuals could interfere at various points without any repercussions when it comes to the championship match.
And they will.
That is an aspect that I did not consider, which does now bring up a good point, because if you do have this early enough in the night, are people able to recover from potential cell injuries? Oh, man. I might want to... I'm not going to change my pick. I'm still going to take the Club. Perhaps both teams wreck each other hard enough to where they are not able to interfere.
Well, see, I'll tell you, when we get to the breaking down the final match, I'm going to tell you how I see it playing out in my head.
Well, we're right on the doorstep, and I don't want to spend too much time on this as an individual tag match because it is going to bleed into the championship.
Literally.
Well, we hope. And I just want to pause for a second because all of the fantasy booking ideas that we have just thrown out, I'm starting to feel the same way that I did when we got done talking about Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago, where there was the possibility that Finn Balor was going to show up, and we had all of these different directions and all of these different ideas of where this was going to go, and I felt really good and really excited about all the opportunities and all the chances, and then nothing happened.
Look, eventually either Finn or Joe's coming up. We know that for a fact.
Right, and I'm not saying that I think that's going to happen this weekend, but what I'm looking at right now, and all of the things that we just talked about, all the predictions we made, the fantasy booking that's gone into this so far, there is so much potential for Sunday night that I don't want to get myself too hyped up.
Well, people forget, too, Payback has always just been kind of like, I don't want to say a throwaway, like big things happen.
Well, there are 3 tiers of pay-per-views, and that's a C tier.
Yeah, but Extreme Rules, on the other hand, is a B-level pay-per-view where stuff happens every single year. And it's always big. It's always important going into SummerSlam. So I think whatever they've been holding on to, because what have I been telling you for months? The reason there's no Club merchandise, Good Brothers merchandise in the store is something is going to happen.
I'm starting to believe you. I really am.
Because there's no way the WWE misses that money-making opportunity.
I mean, if they really did make those Y2 AJ shirts, which I'm thinking they didn't. I know I've
actually seen one.
I've seen bootleg ones available for sale online. Almost bought one, but if they actually did get those up for sale online, that goes to your point that they will not miss an opportunity to make some cash. And they have missed a month's worth of opportunity to make some Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson cash, because I don't know how many shirts you would have bought by now. I probably would have had 2 already, especially when they keep throwing these buy one, get one offers out there on Monday nights. So you are correct in this theory. I mean, it holds water. It's a good scientific theory. But what is the outcome is so tough right now.
Here's what I see happening. Like I said, I think you're going to have the Usos and the Good Brothers tear each other apart in the tag match. Usos win. Good Brothers get pissed, start picking off the Usos. Then, right before the match, Usos recover, destroy the Good Brothers. They're out of the picture. All 4 of them are just done. Like, we expect, like, all 4 of those guys to be ringside. I don't think any of them are going to be there. Then you're going to have the Roman-AJ match. AJ, Roman, beating the hell out of each other. 25-minute mark hits. They're both spent. Roman hits a spear. He goes for the pin. And all of a sudden, we hear someone's music. I don't know if it's going to be Finn Balor. I don't know if it's going to be John Cena, Seth Rollins. Someone's music is going to hit, and that's going to change the course of events.
And honestly, none of it matters when it comes to our predictions, because we're not going to sit here and predict who's going to show up. But we are going to predict who wins. So we have more to talk about when it comes to this match, but I don't want to lose sight of what we're actually here to do. So let me tell you who Jay has.
All right.
Jay has Roman Reigns retaining the WWE Championship. Do you want to go or do you want me to?
You go.
I also have Roman Reigns retaining.
Greg, what does my sheet say?
It says AJ.
AJ Styles for the win, setting up whatever it's going to be. Maybe Finn Balor comes out, helps AJ win, and then as soon as the match is over, the club turns on him, and then it becomes bulletproof, and it's bulletproof versus AJ with Finn and AJ battling over the title. I don't know, but there's no way Roman Reigns keeps the belt. And the reason I say that is, everything they're promoting post to Sunday night is like John Cena, Roman Reigns, Ambrose versus the club. John Cena's involved in all of it. Except I think they're going to change booking, and it's going to be John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Roman gets the win over John Cena.
Now, that could be a direction that it goes. Maybe John Cena's the one who comes in, and you know what? Maybe something happens early in the night where we do get that full Roman heel turn. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it is more likely that we see a full AJ heel turn. But if we do see the full Roman heel turn and he drops the title, the tough thing to me about him dropping the title is that he gets the rematch clause. So even if Roman Reigns drops, well, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like overthinking. It's pro wrestling.
What happened? How long has it been since Kevin Owens had his rematch for the IC belt?
Well, that was played off pretty well with the story with Shane.
Yeah, but you could toss him in a 3-way match to make whatever's next, Battleground or Money in the Bank or whatever.
Money in the Bank's next, I believe.
I mean, there's ways you could do it where he's in the match without having the belt or having a chance at winning it.
I want to see John Cena go back to legitimizing the U.S. belt because it was so good at that point. And going back to the general disrespect for John Cena and not liking the character, but really when you put that title on him, look at what he did during his U.S. Open Challenge. The people that he made and put over, even though they were losing.
I don't disagree.
So if you put that back on him and just reopen the U.S. Challenge, and it keeps him away from the title picture, but it makes him a prominent role, he's got a belt, the champ is here, T-shirts, all of that kind of stuff, and it gives you a door to allow new NXT people to come in during the new era.
See, what I want to see is, I like the idea with John Cena in the U.S. belt, but what I would really want to see, we're headed into Money in the Bank, right?
Yes.
You got Seth Rollins in that match. You got Dean Ambrose in that match. You have Roman Reigns in that match.
Ultimately,
and then 3 other people, doesn't matter who the jabronis are, but you put those 3 in the match, magic happens.
So hey, maybe that's the stretch going all the way back to the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens thing. Neither of them get the IC belt, which makes them both eligible for Money in the Bank. They're both in it, and they both take each other out of it again, which stretches that storyline along, and eats up 2 of those jabroni roles, as you talked about. The one thing that the reason that I want to put the U.S. title on John Cena, by the way, it's partially because of the legitimizing the title and giving guys opportunities, but it really just keeps him out of the Money in the Bank match.
And I think probably Randy Orton will see his return maybe for that.
No.
He won't win, but he'll be in the match, I think.
I know, but still, that eats up a spot, even when you have guys that I even admit, you put Sami and Kevin Owens in there, nobody realistically expects them to win, but I would prefer to see 2 guys like that than part-time Randy Orton.
Well, he's part-time in our mind. Doesn't make it so on Vince or the creative team.
Yeah, it doesn't fit with the rest of the new era.
I don't disagree. I just think they think there's a little bit more tread in that tires. As much as I'd love to see him be the new Brock Lesnar, just show up, 4 times a year. But I got a feeling as soon as he comes back, he gets in that match.
I don't like it. I would like to see him come back in some capacity. Maybe he's the guy that Ambrose takes on next, because at this point, Ambrose is so over that he can operate void of a title, and he can have these matches with Jericho where everyone's interested to see what happens, yet there's no title scenario involved.
It's fun.
It is fun, and maybe Ambrose, it writes itself, too. You got the guy who has pretended to be crazy for 10 years, hearing voices in his head, and then you have the guy who has played the role of crazy better than anybody since Mick Foley. You have those 2 guys. You have crazy on crazy. That could be very compelling TV, and Ambrose can carry Randy Orton.
And CM Punk comes back. I'm just kidding. As much as... I think he's got to get fired from the UFC first.
I think the only way that you see it is Vince buys the UFC.
Hey, he did just free up $40 million in capital.
But that's only a down payment on the UFC.
Hey, down payment's that's a hell of a down payment.
Oh man, I don't want to get bogged down with that. I want to look back at this this championship picture, because we do have more to talk about.
I win, you lose. What else do you? Oh, you're talking about not our title picture, but this. I got you.
Yeah, that. Because as we were talking about, there are so many different directions that this could turn, and it ties into that tornado tag match. I mean, you laid out a perfect scenario that could happen. But there are more than one scenarios, which goes back to our point about how good the unpredictable nature is right now. 6 months ago, we could have sat down in front of a pay-per-view and told you exactly what was going to happen with
and we did. We just
didn't
have a podcast.
But now there's such an unpredictable nature. Although a lot of our picks are similar, I think it's because we have a competition and we're hedging bets now. Because there's no... Jericho could easily win the Asylum match. It could happen. Jericho could win that. Charlotte, Natty, New Day, Vaudevillains.
There's a lot of toss-ups.
Those matchups can go essentially either way. Hell, Kalisto could retain the U.S. title, because it could just be for one more day. John Cena shows up.
Don't put that thought in my head.
It'd only be for one day. I really do feel like Monday night... John Cena's going to have the U.S. title back.
It's already locked in, but I kind of feel like Kalisto might actually retain.
See, here you go now. The more time we spend on this, the more you're going to want to change your picks. All right, and we don't need to spend more time on the heavyweight championship, I guess, because all of the things that we could sit here and talk about for the next 20 minutes would all be conjecture. They're not rooted in any fact, any truth, any evidence, just things that we would like to see. We could fantasy book this thing for another hour if we wanted to.
Or are they?
Unless you have some kind of crazy inside knowledge that you have not shared with us.
Ambrose Asylum, that's all I'm saying.
That goes beyond Reddit.
The Asylum match.
All right, let's quickly review everything. Let's go shot by shot, and if you want to, this is the point in the podcast you jump to if you just want to know what the results are. Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. I have Baron Corbin. You have Baron Corbin. Jay has Baron Corbin.
Everybody has Corbin. Everybody has Rusev. Everybody has Ambrose. Let's just skip ahead.
The changes come in the New Day Vaudevillains tag match where Jay and myself have New Day. You were convinced to change your pick to the Vaudevillains.
I was on the fence when I grabbed the sheet. I put down New Day just because of the time machine. You pushed me the other direction. So here we are.
All right, and then we also have dissent when it comes to the Women's Championship match. Jay has taken Natalya. I have taken Charlotte.
And I got Charlotte as well.
And then in the four-way for the Intercontinental Championship, nobody selected Cesaro. Nobody selected Kevin Owens.
Shockingly enough.
Jay and you have both taken Sami Zayn. I have taken The Miz to retain.
Dummy.
In the Tornado Tag match, Jay has the Usos. I have the Club.
As much as I wanted to pick the Good Brothers, I'm going Usos.
All right, and then in the Heavyweight Championship match, Jay and I both pick Roman Reigns to retain.
I got AJ Styles!
We're going to have to write this out and figure out exactly who can win because there's so much crossover between these three, and that four-way match in the middle kind of makes this messed up. There could be a way that we could still tie and nobody... okay, let's establish this.
A tiebreaker?
Well, I was going to say...
I win because of the Ambrose Asylum.
Well, I was going to say, in the event of a tie, this could be a permanent rule from now on. Whoever has the belt going into the pay-per-view retains the belt in the event of a tie. Do you agree? I like this rule.
I bet you do.
Hey, now this rule could benefit me in the next 4 days, but in the next 4 weeks, this could benefit you.
I'm telling you, you don't have to worry about it. That belt will be in New Orleans at Raw, go-home show before Money in the Bank. You believe that.
All right, I'm going to, all in favor of the rule, say aye. Aye. All right, that works. That was too low pitch to be Jay. Okay, if there is a tie, and I don't even know if there can mathematically be a tie, we're going to have to do the work here. If there is a tie, then I will retain the title, but I don't think that'll happen. I think there will be a clear winner as of Sunday night, and we will be celebrating all across the internet. Thank you to everyone who's been listening along with the podcast, whether you're finding us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube.
We have a Twitter?
We do have a Twitter. You didn't even know that?
No.
We tweet on the Twitter.
We tweet on the Twitter?
We do tweet on the Twitter.
Who tweets on the Twitter machine?
I tweet on the Twitter.
All right.
I think Jay tweets on the Twitter. How come you don't tweet on the Twitter?
I didn't know we had a Twitter.
You post on the Facebook, but you don't tweet on the Twitter?
I have access to the Facebook page. I was unaware. Do we have a Snapchat, too?
We don't have a... Why would we need a Snapchat?
I can think of reasons.
We don't need a Snapchat.
Puppies!
This is a wrestling podcast.
Puppies!
There are going to be no puppies provided to us on a Snapchat from a wrestling podcast.
Jerry the King Lawler would disagree.
We are not Jerry the King Lawler.
I'll be at his bar this week.
All right. Again, share us on YouTube. Talk to us on Facebook. See us in the street. Throw up 2 sweets. Whatever you got to do. It is the Raw Meat Podcast.
Send us some pictures of puppies.
No. It's the Raw Meat Podcast. End. Done.